Welcome everyone to our live webinar 2.0 series. My name is Nicola Pomponio. Thank you so much for taking the time to log in. The 2.0 series takes a closer look at the smaller production wines of each estate. Today we are lucky enough to be joined by Gloria Collel, the International Wine Manager of Freixenet Italian Sparkling. Welcome, Gloria. How are you?
Hola, Nick. Good to see you again after more than a month, no, without doing any seminar.
Exactly. I missed you. I understand that you had a nice little staycation. You stayed close to home. We did as well.
Yes.
Well, let's jump in. Go ahead, Gloria. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, as you know, I've been working for the company for a long time, more than 20 years, maybe 25 already. And I was born in a family dedicated to wine, and then starting at Freixenet was a big thing for me. And well, over the last 10 years, I have been more involved in the marketing team. First of all, being the face and the soul and the face
What's that, love?
of Hola, hello.
Okay, yeah.
Being the face of Mia Wines, and then the last 5-6 years I'm behind the wine development and helping the marketing team developing the wines, yeah, understanding what the consumer wants, what the consumer needs, and helping the winemakers to make a wine that sells well and the consumers love. So this is my role nowadays. And then moving to Freixenet, well, I know Freixenet quite well. I know the family very well, and Freixenet it was a family-owned company, and always they had a vision. No? Mr. Ferrer, José Ferrer, who is now 95, 96 years old, his vision was that Freixenet had to be sold in all the countries that form the United Nations, and that was his first vision. The second was that he wanted to make innovative and icon sparkling wines, and this is why Carta Nevada and Cordon Negro were created. And in fact, he always explains that when he made the first Cordon Negro bottle, he went to the competitor and he showed him the bottle, and the competitor was laughing, like saying, "You will not sell a bottle of that." So nowadays we sell more than 100 million bottles all over the world. So definitely he was wrong. And then the third vision he had was that he wanted, or the family wanted to have to make wine in the most prestigious wine regions of the world. This is why, well, many years ago they started building building and making wineries all over the world, and always pointing to the sparkling wine production. This is why we make sparkling wine in Sonoma. This is why we have a winery in Mexico. This is why in Spain there are 3 cava wineries, or also we were making sparkling wine in Australia, and that was the vision, no? To be able to make wines, and mainly sparkling wine, in the most important wine regions of the world. At the same time, he always has been supported by his wife, Mrs. Gloria Ferrer, that this is the name of the winery in California, and women have been very important at Freixenet. Yeah, in fact, the sisters of Mr. Ferrer and the mother of Mr. Ferrer were key people and were performing key roles in the history of Freixenet. So well, this is in a nutshell the story of Freixenet, and this is taking me to where we are today. No, why Freixenet is making Italian sparkling wine. Let me, because I was really involved into all this story, and if you follow the vision of Mr. Ferrer, and if you understand the vision of Mr. Ferrer, you understand that he wants to have a name and to have a brand and to create a wine in all the most prestigious wine regions. So the trend of Prosecco as a trend, as an international trend, and you know that better than me, started like 15 years ago, and being the big boom in Europe and in UK like 5-6 years ago, and we Freixenet as the #1 sparkling wine producer of Method Champenoise. We were making champagne, we were making cava, we were making Californian sparkling wine, we were in Mexico, we were in Australia. So more or less, we were producing sparkling wines in prestigious regions. But considering the success of Prosecco all over the world and mainly in Europe, Prosecco was missing. I mean, and we were not making wine in Prosecco. So what we did is, why not? Why not? There was a little bit of an issue by then inside Freixenet. We were a little bit disruptive, we must say. But for us, what we saw is that all over the world, we have the credibility. We have the credibility as a brand, as a sparkling wine producer. We have the credibility of making sparkling wine all over the world. That was our doubt at the beginning, but then we test all these, and I can share this with you someday, and we test all these among consumers, and the consumers gave us their approval, and they told us, yes, we consider that Freixenet is a good sparkling wine producer. Why they cannot make a good Prosecco? So we went ahead, we go ahead with selecting the wine and the winery we wanted to produce, and definitely we went to the Prosecco area, to the area of Treviso, and well, that's the thing, no? We decided also, and my role was to develop together with the winemakers the perfect profile of our Prosecco. Why I'm saying that? What we found out in the research was that consumers in Europe, mainly in UK, they were super fans of Prosecco, but they didn't know which brand to buy when they wanted the Prosecco for special occasions. So one of the most search sentences search on computer was which is the best Prosecco. So we put together our target when making our Freixenet Prosecco was offering a well-known brand, like Freixenet, a sparkling wine producer, a beautiful and a glamorous bottle, but also a Prosecco profile that could please a wide spectrum of consumers. Well, that was, we started all this on 2016, and well, we must say that now we are the #1 Prosecco branded in UK, and we are selling around 8 million bottles a year after 4 years, and we are extremely happy with that. And then the next logical step after launching the Prosecco, which is this is 100% Glera, we decided to launch the Rosé. Why don't we make a Rosé? Logical question. By then, when we did that in 2017, Prosecco Rosé was not even in the scenario and was not even considered by the Prosecco Consortium. So we decided to launch an Italian Rosé without the name Prosecco. But thanks to our learnings and to our research, we knew already that Glera has a character and has a profile and a fruit character that consumers, they love it very much. Why they love it? Why is Prosecco, why is Glera so successful? Glera is a non-polarizing grape. Glera is, we call it everybody's darling. Everybody loves it. They love it because it's not bitter, it's not oversweet, it's easy to drink, it's refreshing, it's young, crisp. It has this kind of easy drinking profile that makes an ideal choice for many consumers. So when deciding to make the rosé, we decided to follow the Glera style, and this is why our Italian rosé is made with the dominance of Glera, and then we wanted to have the rosé color, adding it a little bit of Pinot Noir. First we tried with other grapes like Garganega, Corvina, Rondinella, other North Venetian red grapes, but it didn't work. They didn't have enough finesse, enough elegance, and we were looking, as I said, for avoiding the bitterness, looking for elegance and finesse. And then we did test with Pinot Noir, and that was the thing, because with Pinot Noir we have the red fruit character, the spiciness, but without losing the elegance and finesse. Okay, so this is more or less, in a nutshell, the summary of what we've been doing during 2016 and 17, developing these new icons for Freixenet brand. So maybe we can taste them, no? What do you think?
I think that's a great idea. You know, Gloria, it's so great to hear all the insight and all of the everything that went behind the wines. It's so wonderful to have you explain everything. I feel like everyone on the call would probably love to have you at each sales presentation so that people can understand really what really went behind this unbelievable brand. It's so wonderful. But you know what? That's the beauty of this webinar. Now they're able to take all of your notes. They're able to rewatch this video on YouTube, and they're able to take all of that knowledge with them to their sales calls. So thank you so much for that background. And it's amazing. The #1 selling Prosecco in the UK. That's fantastic. Let's go ahead and taste the wines. Let's begin with the Prosecco DOC.
Vale. As a branded Prosecco, we are #1. And the rosé is, from all categories, #1 sparkling rosé in UK. So it's doing super well. Okay, Prosecco Freixenet. This is an extra dry. For us was quite clear that we had to go to the extra dry, as I said before, no, going to the easygoing, easy drinking wine, but always looking for a high acidity and trying to avoid all kind of bitterness, always. Okay. Usually the aromatics of our Prosecco are quite high, for instance, if Mionetto is more peachy and more ripe fruit, we are more in the flowery side. Because I'm saying this because probably you have to define and make the difference between the two Proseccos. I would say that the Mionetto, for me, has more body and more personality. And our Prosecco, the Freixenet, is lighter, fresher, and easier to drink. Yeah, maybe Mionetto is more for people who want a more complex and more mature Prosecco, and Freixenet is much easier and yeah, fresher, I would say. And the style of fruit, we look for lemon, we look for citrusy character, we look for this kind of a little bit more higher acidity, but at the same time, you have all the fruits, primary fruits, a little bit of tropical, and all those white flowers and elegant aromas that are always on the Freixenet Prosecco. Huh? Okay, let's taste the rosé. The rosé, as I said before, is a blend of Glera, dominantly 85–90% of Glera, and then depending on the year, 10–15% of Pinot Noir. #1 selling sparkling rosé in UK, doing it really well. And here we look in a blind tasting. If you don't see the color, maybe you could have the doubt if it was a rosé or a white. But then when you smell it, you can smell the red fruits. The red fruit character is there. It's like a sweet cherry but it's clear that the majority of the blend is made by a white grape, okay? But without losing this elegant touch, a little bit of a spiciness, thanks to the Pinot Noir contribution. Okay. Sweetness of the Prosecco is 17 grams, so this is an extra dry. And the sweetness of the sugar, the dosage or the sugar level of the rosé is 14. It's a little bit drier, yeah, and it is selling really, really well.
Yeah, I've noticed that the rosé tends to be a little bit on the drier side, and it really is exquisite. It really is beautiful on the palate. It just pops.
Super. With the spicy cuisine, Asian food, super. I love it. Even with grilled shrimps, with a grilled lobster, unbelievable, super good.
Gloria, is there a certain story behind the selection of this bottle? I know that you mentioned earlier that that's one of the questions that someone typed in. And by the way, if anyone does have any questions for Gloria, now is your time to please type them into the chat, because we have Gloria here for just a few more minutes. So please put them into the chat. I had someone actually say, I wish I could take Gloria with me today to my sales call on the chat. That was pretty funny.
I would love, if you give permission, I will come.
Okay. Yeah, I think you could come here, but we can't go there. I think that's the way it works. But is there like a story behind the actual bottle? I mean, the bottle pops. It's spectacular. It's so striking. I know that you mentioned earlier that you know, the Cordon Negro was like the anti-bottle. It was the bottle that no one thought would work. What was the thought process behind this bottle?
Well, Cordon Negro was created on the 70s, if I'm not mistaken. And well, you know Martina, the marketing manager at Freixenet, the global marketing manager. And Pedro Ferrer one day, he called Martina like 5-6 years ago, and he told her, Martina, it's time to create another icon. It's time to create another icon for Freixenet. My dad created Carta Nevada. 15 years after he created Cordon Negro. Now it's the time to have another icon for Freixenet, and we should do it now. And at the beginning, you know, when we start with the project, all the projects have a name at the beginning, no? Because well, you talk about the project that we are all working with, and we give it a name. So this project at the beginning was called Icon of Desire, because we wanted to have a bottle that everybody desired when they see it at the shelf. And that was the first anecdote. And the second was that definitely this is inspired in a perfume bottle, and a perfume bottle of a real brand, but I cannot give you the name because then we would have problems with image rights. So it definitely, there is a perfume, a bottle, a little bottle of perfume in our desk, which was the first inspiration for that diamond bottle.
Don't forget, we do have the 187 bottles, which are probably more similar in terms of the perfume bottle on both of the SKUs, which really pop on the shelf, are really wonderful on patios. When people see the wine, I sold it into a few accounts here in Northern California, and people see the bottle, the pictures just do not do it justice. This bottle needs to be brought out and needs to be shown.
I agree. And I mean, and every time you grab the bottle and you visit a friend and you bring the bottle, they all fell in love, all of them.
Wonderful. Any questions that we have in the chat for Gloria? Gloria, I know you said the Garganega, you talked about Rondinella, you talked about Corvina, Pinot Noir. Why did you decide? You did kind of mention it earlier, but why did you decide Pinot Noir? What does the Pinot Noir? How does it influence this rosé?
The elegance. I mean, when we create a wine, we you always, when you have a wine, there is always a personality behind the wine, no? So the wine, some of them are bold, some of them are elegant, some of them are subtle. So all the wines are like us, they have personalities. And the personality of behind those two wines was elegance and finesse. And Pinot Noir is all about this. So I'm a big fan of Pinot Noir. And Pinot Noir is all about this. It's all about elegance. It's all about different nuances, and also because we needed a very low pale color. Me as a former winemaker, I know that less color in rosés, less character, less personality, unfortunately. But this is the color that consumer is asking for today. We will see if in 10 years they go back to deeper colors. But nowadays, consumers who buy rosé, they buy it first for the color and for the intensity. So for us, it was clear that in that rosé, color was a key thing. And Pinot Noir usually has much less intensity on color than Corvina or the Northern Veneto grape varieties. So that was also a big help, together with the acidity of Pinot Noir. Pinot Noir has a very good acidity, and for sparkling wines you need acidity. Yeah.
Well, that makes complete sense. Gloria, I want to thank you for your time this morning. Thank you for braving the thunderstorms there. I know we had some internet issues at the beginning, but thank you. Looks like we made it through the entire webinar without any disruptions. It's always a pleasure to speak with you. I know we're going to be speaking again soon. I believe next week we'll be speaking again soon and discussing a few other wines. But thank you so much for your time today. I'm going to hand it back to you.
Okay. Thank you, Tim, again for being here and for supporting us. And I'm so glad that people from different states all over the country have been attending today the seminar. Feel free of contacting me through Vanessa and through Nick if you have questions or if you need any support.
Thank you so much, Gloria. Salud.
Adiós. Ciao.
Adiós.